Welcome everyone to the Board of Supervisors meeting. I'll call this meeting to order and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will start with public comment. Michelle?
So I'm coming to this meeting once again to talk about the right to know requests. Looking at the right to know report, very first thing on there is one of the 3 cases that are in our court system right now. And this case has been in there for quite some time. There's been so many opportunities during that case for the township to admit that the records were gone. First, I asked for an in-camera review to see if the records existed. The township said an in-camera review is not appropriate, and she has no basis for her bald claim that the records don't exist anymore. I subpoenaed the records to be brought to court to prove they exist. Once again, the township had an issue with that. Oh, she did it wrong or something. And ultimately, the judge quashed that on the same day she ordered the township to provide those records. And then I received thousands of clips of children instead of what I requested and was taken to court over. So after going through these thousands of clips, over 7,000 videos, and determining exactly what was there and what was missing, I filed a petition for contempt. So that was last year still. The township still did not admit that the records were gone, and instead chose to lie, telling the court, we gave her the records, we saved the records, we flagged them, this is what we gave her, and verified that under penalty of perjury with the signature from our chair. During all this, I emailed the township numerous times. I emailed all 3 supervisors and David Gaines and said I definitely did not receive these. And still, that lie continued. So we went to court in March, and at that point the township was still taking the position that you gave me the records. And then it was finally revealed that that was not true and they weren't saved. And that's just one of the 3 cases. In another case, which is not even on this report, another court case that the township brought into the court system and had the same arguments and objections, there were absolutely no records saved. And then in yet another case that the township, I guess, thought they brought into the court system, I was looking back at the emails with the OOR on that, and I said to the OOR, I don't think that they have these. I think they should prove they have them. I believe that they're just stalling so that these records disappear. And that was true. So the reason I'm talking about this, because I know I'm not going to change any minds here. I just believe that the taxpayers have a right to know about this, and you guys are refusing to tell them. And this is very serious, because there are daily penalties that could be applied, and there are crimes that have been committed. And, you know, this could be settled in a few months or it could be settled in a few years. I intend to see this thing all the way through, because this cannot happen to anyone else. It cannot. So I just think that the taxpayers need to be warned that some very serious repercussions could be coming sooner or later. And you all, for some reason, seem to believe that if you just don't say anything, that it's going to go away, and it's not going away. There's something else I wanted to say about that. Yes. To the people that are watching this, watch these videos and look at what happens during the Right to Know Officer report. Look at what happens when we reach unfinished business, writ of mandamus. So far, that's been brought up 3 times, and not a single
That's your time.
word has been said about it and your scoundrels.
Thank you for your comment.
You're welcome.
There is no other public comment, so we will move on to liaison reports. Solicitor's report?
I mean, I don't have anything. I will say in response to that, that we do have a hearing coming up on Michelle's request to penalize the township, and that is the penalty she's referring to. We will continue to represent the township in these matters. But I don't have much patience for her saying the township, people should know in the township that penalties could be applied, because she's the one asking to impose the penalties on the township.
Excuse me, that hearing a month from now was originally about your request to sanction me $1,000,
Right.
correct?
The daily penalties, remind me, who is seeking those?
I am seeking those.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the township does not have comment at this time for the public because we are in litigation.
Yes.
So we are not commenting on that. Is that all for your report?
Yes.
Emergency Management Coordinator?
Don't have a lot to report, except from March 18th, so about a week ago, I was getting reports every day from Center County Emergency Management about the COVID, and I haven't gotten any in a week, so I guess that's a good thing. That's about all I have. I got 3 of my classes continued. I passed 3 of the classes that I needed, and also was on a Zoom meeting with emergency management about the COVID.
Thank you. Greg Township Fire Company, anything anyone wants to
Well,
report
the only
there?
thing I want to say is thank you for the $5,000 for the building repair. You noticed we worked Monday night, we got the window back in. We have some work to do on the roof yet, try to get the leaks fixed. And we're gonna start doing some maintenance over there. We're gonna paint the doors, do some painting, clean up. From the rain the other night, or Monday afternoon, part of the ceiling in the kitchen collapsed from the rain. So we have more repairs to make.
It does look like the fire company is starting to ramp up some more fundraisers now that
Now COVID's over.
restrictions are,
Yeah, there's a chicken barbecue this weekend.
there's another tractor pull coming up soon too, correct?
I'm not sure what the date is with that.
Um, Anything else for the fire company? Old Greg School, we'll start with the advisory board report, anything?
We didn't vote on anything, so there's nothing for us. I think everything will be, Doug will have it, you should, or Pam.
Physical plant managers report.
Yeah, I'm currently gathering quotes for padding for the gym walls, also gathering quotes for the pantry. We want to line the pantry walls with glass board in order to meet the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture standards. And so I'm waiting for one more quote for that. I've called a number of people and I expect to get something next week. So once we do that, we can go out and look for somebody to repair those pantry walls. That's all I know.
Operation managers report.
The only thing I have to report is that we did have the building disinfected, every room, and it is posted in every room that it was disinfected. And then there is also hand sanitizer stations at each door.
Don Grenable is stepping down from security.
Well, I wanted to get somebody in there to fill in for him for right now,
Okay.
but I asked him a couple times, he's been off for like over 2 months,
Okay.
you know, and I wanted to get somebody to fill in. But every night gets full after a while, especially campus season. So,
And now that the building will be open.
reopen,
Right.
yeah, so,
So it was recommended to have Chris Metelsky fill in for Dawn for security. So I will entertain a motion to approve Chris Metelsky for security.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
None.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous. Anything else for the old Greg School that isn't on the agenda?
no.
Penn Valley Code Enforcement Agency, I don't think we've gotten a report yet for that. I know they had been off for a little while. I'm sure they're getting quite busy with backlog. Penn Valley EMS.
Like I reported back in March, I didn't know the exact number then, but they had received like $9,192.44 with grants and fundraisers, which they are actually out of debt now. There was another Center Gives donation, which ended up being $5,580, but there's going to be additional coming from that, possibly matching funds, but that's not known at this time, so I should have an update by next month. The only other good news would be that staffing reported all the transportations that were taken to the hospital. There was 0 COVID patients, and how they know that exactly, the hospital gives them a report back when every person is taken there. So that's all I have at this time.
Anything else for EMS? Penn Valley Regional Planning Commission, we did finally have a meeting after several months. We didn't really discuss any business. Most of that was tabled until our next meeting. It was more just catching up with each of the municipalities to see what impact has been seen throughout the Penn Valley region. Anything else you want to add on that?
September's the next meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Planning Commission had nothing to meet for, so they did not hold their meeting this month. They will plan on having their meeting next month. Tri-Municipal Park.
Joel, did you want to comment?
Anything particular, or,
Pardon me?
I'm sorry, you want to report on?
Well, I'll say a few things, yeah. I've said before, the tree planting has been delayed till the fall because of COVID-19, but we are planning to plant the trees in the fall. There is some new interest in fundraising, both from, well, primarily from Erica Husser, but from others on the board as well. Mark Scher is going to be contacted about some ideas that Joel has, or Joel heard about, and he can tell us about that. I may have mentioned this before. There's a youth football league that's going to be playing on one of the playing fields this fall. There's also a soccer league that wants to play on the days the youth football league is not playing. And so I think this fall we're going to see a good bit more activity at the Tri-Municipal Park. We had a Zoom meeting with some of the board members last Tuesday, and we were again talking about getting some sort of a trail in around the perimeter of the park so people can walk there and take mountain bikes. And I guess the golf course is being used more. There were some comments about it not being mowed. I'm not really sure what that means. I need to follow up. I talked to Joel about it. Joel's saying it is mowed, so I need to find out from the people who said the grass is too long to play. I'm going to get back to them and find out exactly what they mean.
Well, I can comment on that somewhat. I was up at the park today. for a
Joel, would you
while.
mind coming up here to,
I'm sorry?
would you mind coming up here to give your,
Okay. As far as the golf course goes, ever since, actually Doug mowed early in the spring, the fairways, or whenever it was, March, April. The fairways, everything's mowed. The only thing that isn't done, the hayfield hasn't been harvested overall. And so I don't know where this is coming from, except people that don't want to walk out in a hayfield to get a frisbee that they threw awry. But the farmer will be taking the hay off soon. I mean, now we got 1.5 inches of rain, so that's going to be delayed somewhat. But I'm sure Leroy will be taking that off in the next week to 10 days. But everything is mowed. It's not like you have to walk through tall grass to get to the baskets or the shooting where you throw the frisbee from. The fundraising, this was projected while I was still president, so I guess that's why I know a little bit more about it. The 2 grants that Brian Almond had suggested we go for, he prepared, and they're submitted, and they're being reviewed right now. And the total of those 2 grants, because they can match each other, it could end up in something like up to $1 million worth of money to use to do a pavilion, a very nice pavilion, restrooms, more trails, more parking. That's just kind of a highlight of that at this point. We need, my understanding is we need to raise about $60,000 to match those 2 grants, which is a very small investment when you look at what we're going to get back. And I did have, I won't go into detail on this, but I did have a discussion with Mark Sher here very recently at an outing. And he advised me of a foundation that he has got money through for land that mutually, jointly owned down in the Ingleby area. And this foundation is very supportive of conservation and that type of thing. And I've been encouraging them to move forward to check that out and see what we can do. I would think it's possible, and I don't want this written down this way, but I would think it's possible we might be able to ask him for $60,000 based on some discussions Mark and I had. So I'm going to, not on board, but from where I sit, I'm going to try to do all I can to help this all move forward. So I guess unless there's questions, and I don't want to supersede Doug. And we have a very active group right now. I'm glad I went off the board because my replacement and Jane are both doing good things. And I'm hoping to get Mark and a few of the folks together to move forward with the fundraising. Any questions? Okay, thank you. It's good to see everybody again.
On the tri-municipal park, I heard that you're looking at rewriting your bylaws.
Yes.
So I would hope that as the municipalities that own the property, that we will be reviewing those bylaws.
Yes, yeah, nothing definitive has emerged. We kicked it around, and there's really nothing to come forward with. So when that happens, they will be coming here.
Anything else for tri-park, Charles?
Nothing.
Okay. Water and Sewer Authority, I don't think we've gotten a report from there.
No.
We will move on to Secretary Treasurer's report. I will entertain a motion. Actually, I won't entertain a motion yet to approve the meeting minutes because under the new business about the bid awards, Pam, if you could add what the bid amount was for and who the other bids came in,
Okay.
so that we have that number on record when we submit all of our grants. Any other changes need to be made to the minutes?
On page 1, we're talking about the 4,000 settlement. It says underground storage tank. They have proposed a 4,000 settlement. I like to change the they to a company's name for future reference.
Right, Blair Petroleum. Any other changes? Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the May 21st, 2020 Board of Supervisors meeting minutes with the 2 changes as addressed.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
No, not here.
All those in favor? motion to accept and approve the all funds financial report.
I will make that motion.
A second is here.
Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries unanimous.
Carrie, you know that way, this needs to be changed.